Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 2v2 battle. This is going to be the Beastman and my ally here, Surreal, bringing the Empire, versus Dwarves and Bretonia. We'll get to that here in just a moment. My army consists of 2 Ungor Spearmen herds up here in the front, 2 Minotaurs with shields. I brought them because we're facing off against Dwarves and Bretonia, both of which can bring a lot of missiles, so I was like, let's bring the shield version, which I don't usually bring. We also have a Beast Lord and then a Brave Shaman of the Beast, which is the one that can summon the Minotaur, and he has, not the Minotaur, the Manticore. So he has the one that has the Manticore, and then he also has Pan's Impenetrable Pelt as the spells that I brought for him. And then over here we have 2 Razorgore herds. For Surreal, we have a line of spearmen, some great cannons here, 2 Hailstorm rocket batteries, 2 halberdiers, a general on a griffin, and then 2 demigryph knights with halberds. Then over here, for the rest of my army, I wanted to go Vanguard heavy, because, you know, I wanted it to be fun. So I brought 4 Ungor herds, and then 3 Ungor raiders. Unfortunately for me, these Grail Knights are actually close enough to see them through their stalk, so that's going to be interesting, huh? We have a Dwarven Miner group with blasting charges, Vanguard deployed over here, which is odd, or not. I'm not gonna say odd. It's you never see it, which, you know, awesome. Way to go, you're actually Vanguard deploying minings. That's pretty cool. For the Bretonia army over here, we have a mix of spearmen and then man-at-arms. We have some peasant bows, a trebuchet, 2 Grail Knights, a paladin, or lord, a generic lord. I think they have a paladin or 2. Yeah, we have a paladin there, and then I think that is it for the ground forces. Then back here we have a couple of Pegasus Knights. Over here, to continue with the Air Force, we have 2 of the gyrocopters with brimstone guns, 1 without, which is just a normal one. Ungrim Iron Fist, a Runesmith, we have multiple Longbeards, 2 Thunderers, and then 2 Quarrelers, 2 Great Cannons. And that's the layout here. So let's get to the fun. Immediately, I'm like, oh crap, they see me, and they're like, oh crap, there's just a bunch of infantry over here, so we're gonna have to make do with the best of it. I'm sending my army forward as fast as I can, but we're just gonna have to try and take out Grail Knights with a bunch of Ungor herds and Ungor raiders. I don't want to spoil the outcome. Who knows what could happen? We do have a lot of numbers on our side. Yep. I'm trying to focus fire at least one group of the Grail Knights down, trying to do as much damage as I can with what we have. The Bretonian infantry is starting to come in, as well as some peasant bowmen. So this is about like half my force, if not more, just out here. I was relying on their stalk and coming in behind the peasant bows and any artillery if they brought any, which of course they did. They have a trebuchet. That was the idea, and to come in behind them, not to get seen by Grail Knights at the very beginning. Now we have the Bretonian infantry getting in here with the man-at-arms. Back here, the Grail Knights are trying to stop all of my raiders, which is a good call. They're not just stopping to fight my Ungor herdsmen, but getting into the archers, which is doing the actual damage here. And I'm just doing my best to try and stay away from them. We can take a look at the damage. We have actually brought a group of Grail Knights down to near death. But in the process, we have lost our 4 Ungor herds and our 3 Ungor raiders at the cost of almost 1 Grail Knight. In terms of money spent, not really worth it. But here comes some Razorgore herds into these peasant bows. Summoning my Manticore as our Minotaurs are going into the peasant bows as well. Our Vanguard force is basically not savable, but we are going to get in here and get into these squishy peasants. Here come the Minotaurs. I'm trying to run around these spearmen because why would I want to fight them? We're faster than they are. So we're just trying to kill these peasant bowmen. The rest of our infantry is coming in, including our Beast Lord and our hero. We're going to have to engage with the man-at-arms over here, as our Minotaurs are going to be running around the flank to get up towards here. My Manticore is silencing the trebuchet at this point, as our Razorgores continue to chase off the peasant bows. We do get caught by some spearmen here, so we're going to do a little bit of fighting, even though this is not the fight we really want. There goes our Gore Bull. I don't think I mentioned I had a Gore Bull. I have a Gore Bull. There he is. He's fighting against a Lord right now, their leader, as some Pegasus Knights come in to try and stop our Razorgore herds. Manticore just doing a lot of damage against the Trebuchet crew, forcing them to leave their engines. These Pegasus Knights are going to be a little bit of a problem, though. They're going to start inflicting a lot of damage to our Manticore. Meanwhile, our Beast Lord and some Ungor Spearmen are trying to do their best against some Bretonnian infantry. The Beast Lord is going to do really good against Bretonnian infantry. That's just going to happen. My entire Vanguard force is gone at this point. The Grail Knights did take out the rest of them. They will be coming back into the fight shortly, as I'm just trying to run away from these spears because I do not want to fight them with our Minotaurs. I want to take out the Peasant Bows and the Cav, if anything. We've inflicted some damage on this Pegasus Knight group with the Razor Gores and that Manticore nearby. Meanwhile, our Gorbull is just tanking so much damage because it's a Gorbull. We almost killed this Lord. Almost. But they're going to get out of there and get a potion of healing, which is unfortunate. But that's fine. We're just going to try and leave these peasants behind. Again, we do not want to engage with the Bretonnian infantry. Minotaurs are faster than they are, so you do not have to engage with them. Just go after the targets that mean something. Our Brave Shaman here is going to be engaged by Pegasus Knights and one of the, or the Lord that is healed from the potion that they took. Our Beast Lord is going to become isolated now that the Ungor Spearman herd are going to rout. And he's just going to kind of hang out here. He's just going to have a party all by himself. He sees all these juicy targets and he's just going to have fun. His axes are pretty cool. I like the look of the Beast Lord. I think he's one of the coolest heroes. Maybe it's the Dreadlocks. I don't know. But for the rest of the battle, my Razor Gore herds and now my Minotaurs are getting into these Dwarven cannons, which have been hitting Surreal's forces. So we are, again, running away from the Bretonnian infantry and silencing important targets as the Demigryph Knights from Surreal come in as well. And now we are going to come back up here because now we want to silence the remaining Grail Knights. Again, we're trying to take out the high threats and ignore the Bretonnian infantry because they don't really matter too much. We're more worried about the Knights, so our Gorbull is now between a rock and a hard place here, but reinforcements are on their way. Here comes our Demigryph Knights with halberds, which are going to do really well against Grail Knights, especially when they charge our Minotaurs. So you can see that this Grail Knight is going to start losing health pretty rapidly, and we get a rear charge from a Razor Gore herd, which is also armor piercing. So everything here is armor piercing, and of course Demigryph Knights with halberds are also anti-large, so look at them. These Grail Knights just melt. They melt, as would be expected in this type of fight. My Beast Lord over here, I'm just doing what I can to keep him alive. I'm casting spells from our Brave Shaman whenever he comes back from routing to keep his damage resistance up, and using his own abilities to just continually kill as many Bretonnians as he can. Because at that point, you can't really escape. So I'm like, okay, you're just going to do as much damage as you can. Over here, we have silenced most of the Grail Knights. My Gorbull is going to be running away from this engagement to join the forces up here. As the Pegasus Knights come in, this is a bad call. This is a bad call. I know you may want to try and save your Grail Knights, but do not throw Pegasus Knights into Demigryph Knights with halberds. That's not at all what you want to do. No, no, no. Don't do that. Yeah, you can get a charge off, but man, it's going to go bad for you. The Kitty Cav with halberds do not play around. As we can see here, the Pegasus Knights came in with, I think, about half health, right? And they left with almost none. So that's... yeah, again, don't charge Demigryph Knights, especially two groups of them with halberds. And now we're just going to continue to run away from the Bretonnian infantry because we don't have to engage them. Our Beast Lord is still over here, just killing people. Again, being assisted by our Brave Shaman, who keeps coming back from routing. And he's just there to cause trouble. I basically I've written him off from this battle. I'm like, you're going to die. It's going to happen. But just take as many as you can. Meanwhile, our more mobile forces with the Minotaurs, Gorbull, and Razor Gore herd are continuing to take out the high targets, which is the Trebuchet crew. We're trying to do as much damage to the Bretonnian archers as we can. And right here, the Bretonnian Lord decides to engage us again, so the Gorbull and his Minotaur buddies are going to have a party over here. A Bretonnian Lord just mounted on a basic warhorse is not too scary, especially when a Gorbull is nearby. These Minotaurs, since they're low on health, are going to run, but I'm going to keep my Gorbull here because he can take this type of damage. He still has healing potions equipped. So I'm just going to try and kill this Lord while we run away from the Bretonnian Spearmen. And now I'm going to send our Minotaurs to assist Surreal as our Gorbull continues to sit back here and just devastate this Bretonnian Lord. The Bretonnian Lord has no chance against the Gorbull. Not many heroes or lords, well, not many heroes do. Maybe some lords do in a one-on-one fight against the Gorbull, but especially with potions, that's going to be difficult. You can see how much damage he's doing here. Yeah, for Bretonnia, buddy. You better run. Like, quick. And And then I think we have a one Razorgore herd back here. I keep trying to get it to attack these Bretonnian peasants, but it keeps on breaking its morale. Meanwhile, our Minotaurs are still going over there to assist Surreal. And I believe we kill the Bretonnian Lord here. He starts to round and run away. We get another solid hit. And he's going to go through his troops, but we're going to try and chase him. And then we're going to get to Surreal's fight here. And the remaining fight. And we're going to charge him. I'm like, nope. I'm trying to get away from the spears. They keep hitting me. He's going to stop routing. I guess we can probably stop it. Oh, no, you know, I want to see it. I want to see it. We're going to charge him. And then we'll see the rest of the battle. Here we go. So we get a charge off and rout him again, and then boom. There we go. Bretonnian Lord dead. Don't fight a Gorbel one-on-one, or even with Spearmen nearby, as a Bretonnian basic Lord. Now, I think the King on a Griffin, or not Griffin, but on his Hippogriff could probably take out a Gorbel. I don't know. Gorbels are so tough. I have no idea. But let's pause here, and we will see the rest of the battle, including the beginning with Surreal. Oh, great cannons. The Hailstorm rockets are now currently focusing on the dwarves as they advance on Surreal's position. Now, because Surreal has 2 great cannons and 2 Hailstorm rocket batteries, the dwarf player felt like they needed to charge, which is unfortunate for the dwarves, just because they're very slow, they have a long way to travel, and there's 2 Hailstorm rocket batteries firing at them. Now, Hailstorm rocket batteries are not great armor piercers, but a problem here is that when you're charging an Empire player with Hellstorms and Great Cannons, this is the last thing you want to do. This unit, or this army, is so bunched up. Not good at all. You want to spread all these Longbeards out and all these Coilers and everything in long lines and space them out. I can't really show you here, but, you know, just long line, long line. Take a couple, I don't know, yards behind, long line, long line. With this kind of clumping, this is perfect for the Hailstorm rocket batteries. You're going to see they're just going to do so much damage. These gyrocopters are currently trying to get some hits on the, I believe, infantry. These spearmen front lines, as Surreal's general is going to try and get in there and destroy them. This is also kind of a waste. I would be sending these gyrocopters to silence the artillery and the Demigryph Knights, not just some basic spearmen. But that's what they're going to be trying to focus on as they keep getting chased away by Surreal's general here. Here they come in again. And notice, this is a long time just marching across an open field. Look at all this damage. This is all from the Hailstorms and the Great Cannons, I think, are also firing on them, maybe? I think? Yeah, they are. You cannot clump like that. Over here, the general finally gets into one of the gyrocopters, and they're going to do really well here. The Griffin has high armor-piercing damage. And there you go. You can see them starting to rout. Oh my gosh. Look at all these Longbeards. They are almost destroyed before they even get to the front line. They're just too clumped up. Also, the gyrocopter's not targeting the siege, and also the cannons, which will be silenced soon by my Minotaurs, we're focusing on the spearman group and not these artillery groups. This player was not really prioritizing the high threats here. Over here, they're going to allow their gyrocopters to get engaged with the general some more. Gyrocopters are not amazing melee, so the general's going to win this fight. Finally, Ungrim and the Runesmith are going to be engaging against this front line of spears and halberdiers. And here come what remains of the Longbeards. At this point, they have just taken so much damage. But they're going to continue to fight on. Meanwhile, the Thunderers and Coilers are back here. I honestly don't really know why. I think they may be in range of one of these spearman groups. But they are still being focused down by the Hailstorm rockets and the Great Cannons. Meanwhile, this is most of the infantry engagement that's going to be going on, or against what remains of the Longbeards and this flank of Surreals. We'll just watch this for a bit. Watch some dwarves go at it. Because there's really not much else to see in their engagement. They did manage to do a lot of damage to these spearmen, which is pretty good. The general is equipped with multiple healing potions, so any damage dealt to him right now is going to kind of be negated. Meanwhile, the spears now is just going to be holding the line as the artillery continues not being threatened and just allowed to fire on these units. And oh yeah, you remember that miner group? They're over here. They are slowly walking across the field towards Surreal's army. We'll get back to them. Here we go, the general is now into these Thunderers. Gonna be able to chew through them pretty easily. And then the infantry fight is still raging on with Ungrim. Oh, actually, no, they're pulling out. I'm not sure why. Maybe to chase off the general, but they're pretty slow at that. But here we go, they're gonna be re-engaged by some spearmen. Honestly, they should be going towards the artillery, not towards the general. Yeah, you remember those miners? They're still on their way. They're still walking. At this point, my Minotaurs have silenced the cannons and we're engaged with the rest of the Grell Knights over there. And it's looking like the Dwarven army is a little bit shattered here. We have Thunderers and Correlers that are barely surviving out here on the fringes. Meanwhile, Ungrim, though, still raging strong because he's Ungrim. And that's what he does. This dude just refuses to die, ever. And surprisingly, the Longbeards are actually holding out a long time considering how much they've been outnumbered. Although they're really not being surrounded, which they can easily be. I wonder if this group's going around to surround them. This gyrocopter group is just being chased by the general here, running for their lives. I believe they may get some shots into these artillery cannons, or artillery lines. And here we go. Miners are almost there. I remember Surreal was like, holy crap, where'd those miners come from? Because neither of us realized they were Vanguard deployed over there. So the miners are going to get up into position, and then they're going to start throwing some charges down. Anytime. Anytime. Meanwhile, Ungrim's over there dealing with spearmen. Here we go, here we go. And Surreal's trying to face these Hellstorms to fire point blank into those miners. It kind of works. But I believe some spearmen and the general. There he is. The general's going to be trying to take out these miners. He was freaking out at this point, though. He's like, where the hell these miners come from, dude? It was pretty funny. Yeah, I guess he just had to be there. Meanwhile, the rest of his army is currently routing, which he was also not too happy about, because he did a lot of damage to these Longbeards, but the thing is, Ungrim and this Runesmith just refused to get killed by spearmen and the Halberdiers. But here come the Demigryph Knights to support. Kitty Cav! Meow! And they're going to kind of turn the tide back into the Imperial favor in this area. Meanwhile, those miners are still being taken care of by the general. He is going to do really well against them. They're not going to be able to do too much. And then here come my Minotaurs, which were disengaged from the Bretonnians. The Bretonnian Lord's going to be dying here soon.
Fire on them, lads!
Meanwhile, the Kitty Cav is just kind of holding the line against Ungrim and the Runesmith. The Longbeards, I think, are routing at this point. Yes, they are routing at this point, leaving Ungrim back here. Minotaurs are a little slow. They're tired. They've had a lot of fighting and running. But here they come, charging in. Jeez! Barreling right into Ungrim's face. And then we're going to run. And we're like, you know what? We're done here. I think I go over to assist against the miners, is what I do. Or charge these Bretonnian as they get closer. There goes the Bretonnian Lord. So yeah, we just did a quick charge on Ungrim, and we left. Kitty Cav's got this. Gorbul's going to be running towards this way as well. Surreal's artillery, which is yet to be challenged, is now firing into the Bretonnian lines as they slowly make their way across the field. This is why I was disengaged from them, because I knew I didn't have to worry about them. We're faster than they are, so we just don't need to fight them. So now our Minotaurs are going to do what they can against these miners. They're going to do pretty well. Spoiler alert. Who knew? Meanwhile, Ungrim continues to hold on against the kitty cat and is actually starting to rout them. Because Ungrim is just ridiculous.
None shall live.
He is ridiculous. Over here, we're going to get a charge off on these Bretonnian Man-at-Arms. At this point, I'm just trying to route easy targets to try and get a mass shatter is what our purpose is here. Not to actually kill, really. Although we will obviously do that as well. As they get nailed by cannons. Miners are now running for their lives from the Minotaurs. They didn't have much of a chance in that fight. And we are continuing to rout these men-at-arms, trying to shatter them at this point. And you can see the rest of the army starting to falter. Starting to falter. This Scorbel is going to be running into these spearmen. Because that's the only point right now, is just try and shatter them. Get as many as we can to rout to let the others rout. Oh yeah, oh yeah. 10 points. Ooh. And you see they're going to rout, and that's it. A mass shatter from the remaining Bretonnian infantry and their peasant bows. So, we didn't have to actually kill them. Running away and choosing our own battles kind of worked out. If you have the speed, you don't necessarily have to engage. You can just kind of bide your time, go for other targets, and it can work out. Because more than half of my army was wiped out in a matter of like a minute. They were just routed off the field. And so I was really worried, but we managed to pull it out because we just didn't fight them. But good game to my opponents and to Surreal. Let's take a look at the kill count. For me, our Beast Lord, who did end up falling there, 90 kills from our Beast Lord against Bretonnian Spearmen and Man-at-Arms. The Spearmen here did okay. The Scorbel did really well, but that's no surprise to anybody. Our Vanguard force got destroyed, but they did a lot of hit point damage to the Grail Knight, one Grail Knight, so it's not a total loss. 156 kills in this Razor Herd, only 23 on this one. This one did really well, routing, I think, mostly Bretonnian peasants and the Trebuchet. Minotaurs did really well. Again, not a huge surprise because they were not being focused down on by like the Dwarven cannons, which would have done really well against them. For Surreal, 68 kills in the General of the Empire, including a lot of gyrocopters. He did a lot of work. The main line did what they did. They held. Kitty Cat did really well, and look at this artillery. Because they were not challenged at all by either the gyrocopters or the Dwarven cannons, they were just allowed to do what they do. And 225 kills in the Hellstorm Rocket Battery. Because the Dwarven army was so clumped up, it just racked up so many kills. So many kills in this artillery. Holy crap, they just carried the game. 142 kills for Ungrim Iron Fist, 43 for the Runesmith. The Longbeards mostly got destroyed, as did most everything else. Although these gyrocopters got a decent amount of kills, as did the cannons before we were able to shut them down. So, but I mean, that was mostly against Spearmen, which aren't really the high threat of the match. But still, a decent amount of kills there. For the Bretonnian player, we have an okay amount of kills for the Spear line. 93 for that Man-at-Arms is really good. Peasant Bows did okay. The Grail Knights. I wonder where they got all those kills from. I don't know. I have no idea where they got all those kills from. That is a lot. Pegasus Knights with 58 is pretty good. And the Trebuchet Knighting, 40 kills is not bad for a Trebuchet. Not bad at all. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave your suggestions below on what you would like to see. And the patch is just around the corner, so we're going to try and hit that hard, including the new units that are coming out with that. So I'm looking forward to playing that and showing you all of the new stuff. Some of it sounds kind of maybe strong, but we'll find out together. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Take care.